So, hi. So,
Hello, everyone.
Annette's another friend, longtime friend, and we were friends for at least 10 years before I started speaking about it. And I don't know exactly the moment that we spoke about it, Annette. Maybe you remember, but we found out that we each had somebody that was incarcerated. And for 10 years, we didn't talk about it. All that time, we could have been supporting each other. We could have been helping each other. We could have been sharing information. But no, we didn't talk about it. So this is another example of the hidden sentence. And Annette, if you want to just talk about what you remember of our conversation that first time and, before that, how we didn't talk about it.
Thank you, Julia. And the speakers so far have just been amazing. And a lot of the things I'm hearing are notes that I have made, and my sentiments have been expressed here already in different ways by different people. So I think there's definitely a message coming through here in a strength. I don't remember. I think we met back in about 2005, and it was several years before you even mentioned anything with your brother. I was really surprised. I didn't know anything about your brother or any of the experiences that you had gone through and were going through. I think that I really understood because I had a daughter that was incarcerated, and I didn't talk about it. And I didn't talk about her, and it was just a part of our life that kind of we accepted. And like Gail said, I think that I realized there is another hidden sentence, and there is another experience that people go through together. So here we were, two very close. I mean, I consider Julia a very close and personal friend, and here we were, two very close friends that had never brought this up, and we're going through this really emotional time, and we never talked about it. So this is real, and it happens to so many people. I did make a few notes here. I want to say my heart goes out to you, Julia, because I know it was probably very difficult. I don't know, but I believe it would have been very difficult to write this book. But it was so important for so many reasons. And I think what I'm hearing today, it just continues to validate that. I would like to thank you for being a friend.
Yeah.
And listening to me and understanding. And I'm sorry.
That's why we're here to support
Really,
each other.
for the strength and the courage that you had to write this book. Let me just gather myself for a second, because it is an emotional thing for me, as I think everyone understands. In reading the book, I actually learned more details about your experience than I had known or you had ever talked about. Some of those things I had never knew. But what was really amazed me was how similar they were to my experience. It was extraordinarily similar, and I was thinking, because it was a different state, right? And it was very, very similar. So and what I really liked about what you wrote in the book is how you tied the stories together with the summaries at the end. Is here's what I learned and here's a list. So it was like a handbook, but not a step-by-step instruction book. It gives the meaning behind why you're explaining, and we've talked about the valuable and helpful information that you shared. I think you did an excellent job of how you tied that all together. The information in the summaries, I think, are going to be extremely valuable. And like others have said, I wish I would have had this information years ago. One of the things I wanted to talk a little bit about, we've mentioned visitation. I think that's probably one of the hardest things. one experience I had, and also it's funny how you talk about the clank, because when we were brought in, we waited in the lobby. We had to hand over our licenses, and then we would go through the metal detection and pull the pockets out and pat it down. But we were led into, then beyond the lobby was an area. We went through an iron gate, and when all the visitors were in, it was kind of a lobby area, kind of a holding area. And when all the visitors had gone through, that iron gate closed behind us, and it clanked so loud. And there was another gate beyond that.
Mm-hmm.
So we just stood there and in silence, stood there very quietly. And then the other gate would open. And then, like you said, that would close behind you. I believe that at that moment, and maybe I look back on it now, we were a part of the prison system. There is no breaking the rules. You follow everything that they tell you to do. And there are a lot of rules. The one time we couldn't wear blue because the inmates wore blue. So I wore a bright turquoise shirt. And again, we had to drive a distance, not out of state. But, we planned for these visits, and I wore bright blue, bright turquoise. And I was not allowed to visit my daughter because it was considered blue. And so the guard that day wouldn't let me visit. So, that was difficult. And like some of the things I've heard that you've recommended is, take extra clothes. There's just so many things, little things and details that you have brought to light about the tactical things to do. And I really do think it's very helpful. But the way you presented it in the story and the messaging, also, as others have testified here today, it just tells you the emotional side of the story and a message that needs to raise awareness, because there is another world and there's so many people affected by this. I know you wrote your personal story, but it is the story of many.
Yep.
I don't know. I've got so many little notes about things I wanted to say, but I know that this has been a very meaningful and productive discussion. So I did want to say also that you did an excellent job of capturing your personal story, and sharing it is really going to help others, just like this launch itself and the communication is really helping others. I would also like to say my daughter is doing fantastic. Mm-hmm. I believe she's on the call. She did community service for Julia, and Julie helped her along the way as well. She has 3 beautiful children, and she has a very good life. So we're very happy, and there is hope. And I'm glad there's a sun and the sunshine in your logo, because there is hope. But I really just want to say also, the book is not just for family and friends of incarcerated persons. This book is to be shared with the world, and it should be given to others, and I hope it's promoted so that everyone can have a peek into the world of people that are serving the hidden sentence.
I appreciate it, and well said. And I just appreciate that, all the different parts of the book, because we didn't go through everything. We didn't go through all the details of visitation, which, you and I know, what to wear, right? Like right. Wearing blue, and if that's the color that the inmates are wearing, or bringing extra clothes if you drive, or like you have to bring a clear bag. You can only bring so much money. You can only bring so much in. The count, right? That I forgot to tell Les about, and then if the prison's in lockdown and you go, right? Nobody tells you, you go there and you show up and they're like, nope, sorry, prison's in lockdown. And what if you traveled hundreds of miles? That's happened to me once.
Just the simple thing is going and getting the cards and the games as soon as you go in.
Oh, so yeah. So we learned, get your food and your games as soon as you get there, because there won't be any when everybody gets there. But
exactly.
Bring out, there is no visitation right now in Nevada. New York has opened up visitation. I think like 9 other states have, but right now, since February, people haven't been able to see their loved ones. And so it's a really, really traumatic time right now for everybody. And that's why with FIP, with the Friends and Family of Incarcerated Persons, we're doing more online support. And just I just wanted to bring that out because I don't know if people know that. So at least you're walking away with something you didn't know. But yeah, just those little things that it's just so good to know in advance, and that you can have family time when you visit, which sounded really, really weird to me at first. And could you tell them about the application? Because I
yeah.
heard something earlier, and it is in the book, but this is how strict it is when I'm saying that it takes months sometimes.
Yeah, so we filled out the application to visit, and it was a written application. It took a while to get the application. You have to fill it out and, completely fill it out. And we returned the application. We didn't hear anything for several weeks. And I think I got a letter finally. It says your application's been rejected. And it didn't even really tell me what. And I went, oh boy. So I called them and I asked them, why was my application rejected? And they said, well, because I don't have a middle name. So I just left it blank on the application. So she said, well, if you don't have a middle name, you have to put no middle initial or no middle name. And you have to put that in. So I had to reapply and go through the process, wait for to get the application again, and then resubmit it, and then wait several weeks for it to be approved. And just one more thing I want to say, I think I talked about this to you in one of our interviews or discussions, is there is no customer service when it comes to incarceration in the prison system. There really is no one to help you. There are ways to get information, but there isn't a department that is there that's in the prison system. So you do need to find the resources and the people that can help you and support you. And it's a great job you're doing.
Thank you. I would love to do that, to have that. That would be like awesome to put that together so that people had a resource on there. And that would be awesome. But I thank you so much. Again, this is just such a prime example of the hidden sentence, good friends that don't even talk about it because it's so hidden, and it shouldn't be. You should be able to talk about it.